So we are live and we're going to try and settle this loading, etc. And we've got our beautiful mother here, Nidhi Nahata. One second, Nidhi, just let this load.
Yes.
And when I'm waiting, then okay. I think if it starts speaking, then I. Good evening, everyone. Welcome. And I have another really, 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 really special friend and somebody I've really, really admired for all the things that we've been doing in Bangalore while I was in Bangalore. Her spirit, the way she shows up, the way she shows up as a mom, the way she shows up for her work. I just totally love her spirit. Welcome, Nidhi Nahata.
Thank you.
She owns a beautiful, my favorite cafe. I've left Bangalore. I used to love it. And I must confess that the most pampered I was when I was having my second child was by Nidhi. She used to send meals for me every day from her like place 2 hours away. And when you get that kind of grace, you just wonder what the human being is all about. So I'm honestly very, very thankful for Nidhi for all the grace she showed me when I was all alone in the city, pregnant with my second one. And she was sending my favorite food all the way every day. So thanks, Nidhi, for that. I'm
It's
so
my
honored for you
pleasure.
to be here because your nurturing instinct is very strong. You're an awesome mom. I've seen your boys and your journey as a health coach and whole food plant based. And now Justbe Cafe has just been amazing. So go ahead, introduce yourself, Nidhi, because I always tell people the person who lives the story tells the story the best. So go ahead.
Yes, so you have actually covered everything. Yes, I
Yeah.
uh, run a cafe today, and that cafe is because of my child. He was the inspiration behind it when he cured from his asthma from this lifestyle, which you and me lead, Shikha, the whole food plant based.
Right.
And when he said that, Mom, I want to, where do I go out to eat? And that's how Just Be happened.
Yeah.
So it's very, very special to me. One, because I love the purpose I am connected to. And the purpose is also connected to recovery of my child. So that's uh,
Let's know the story. What's the story? How did Justbe Cafe come? How did you come into the whole food plant based? Because the reason you're here is more because it's a mother's journey. And I always say that what mothers can do when they become mothers, I don't think so we would do otherwise in our lives. There would be 100 excuses not to do. But when we become a mom, when things happen and our children are involved, we take steps that we can't even think that you would have taken otherwise. So what's the whole journey of you coming till here as a mom?
Shikha, I think what completes me, or maybe I got introduced to my womanhood, was so much with my children. I was 19 when I got married. I
Yeah.
was 20 when I was a mother.
Yeah.
And didn't know really a lot what happens in the world. And even today, I realize that I didn't know because I'm really not really connected to know the what's happening in politics and what's happening in here and there. I was so
You don't need
much
to.
engrossed in my own child, my own life, and I think I loved my journey with both my boys. One after the, I mean,
Yeah.
the second one after 2.5 years. I had this is 95 and 98. I was a mom then,
Wow. Wow.
and when they were young, I really enjoyed my first kid. My second kid, I had a lot of challenges because he was an albino child, and that was a different realm. The first one was, it was all fun. I was a kid, all fun, and as if I
Yeah.
got a toy in my hand, and dressing him up, and all of that.
Yeah.
And I think that love, when they say that unconditional love or that love oozing out of you is something which I really, really experienced with my first kid.
Right.
And that's Vardhan. And Dev is, uh, he was born an albino kid. And I think his challenges as a kid was my challenge too. But that
Absolutely.
really, what tapped me with my second kid was my instincts as a mother. The first one, what I would say is, see, I'm just it's just coming up now. I didn't think about
Yeah.
this, but it's just coming up now,
This
and I'm saying
this
the
space,
first
I must warn you, and Sarah is here. Sarah is here. She's one of the 50th moms. See, I'm getting goosebumps right now because
one.
something about this interviews, every mother says that something happens and it emerges. So the space is becoming, Nidhi, a place where we want to release the stuff by releasing balloons and in celebration of the journeys we've had. So
I
this is a safe
know.
place with 100 mothers, and we all are going to take these brave steps as moms. This is our story, and we're going to take pride in our story. So go ahead and take your story out, and
Yeah.
that's the story that's
So
going to be released.
when I'm just sharing, I'm like, yes, what I experienced with Vardhan was just love and excitement and fun, and
Yeah.
and with my younger one was my as a mother, the survival instinct for my child was so high
Right.
because he was because the nystagmus, the albino hit his eyes, and the doctor said we don't know whether he will
I
be
don't know.
ever be able to see in life, and
Yeah.
whether he'll be able to go to school, and you need to be, and that was like, I delivered and the second day I was told this. It
Mm.
just came as a shock, and I really didn't know what to do and
Right.
what to think of it. But
Too
you know
young.
what? Anyways, you can't plan anything.
Right. Right. Right.
And I realized it then. And the second time I realized it more deeper is during this pandemic. We can't
Right.
plan anything,
Yeah.
you know?
Not at all.
So with Dave, it was very interesting that every day was a different news and different challenge, and learning about the ailment, and we are not aware of it, but you just grow with it, right? And you grow and you learn so much along this journey. He took 2.5 years to walk or to focus watching. I don't know, with school, and they said special school. And when he told me I want to go to the same school as my brother, and I think I said I'm not going to give this up. I'll try. I put him in there, and it was very challenging because the teachers in Bishop Cotton didn't really understand that why is he not able to cope like the other children.
Right.
But we managed. He did well. He passed out from Bishop Cotton in his 10th.
Proud of him.
And it used to be cute because you know like my older son was very smart, and he would take really very very fast. He would be very fast in grasping things, and they would take longer. And when he would achieve the smallest thing, and he would celebrate as if he's scored 100.
Yeah.
Okay, and everybody used to be confused, his friends or brother or everybody in the family, that he just
What's the
he
big deal?
just maybe, I'm just taking the example of the cricket, that he would just hit the ball once, and that would be like 100 runs for him. And everybody would be surprised, this guy's too much, he thinks too much of himself. But for him to hit that, and I think that was something which I have learned the most, that I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to let him give up. Otherwise, if I would have chosen to put him into a special school, as the doctors told me, and everybody around told me that he needs a special school, I think I would have, I would have failed, and I would have failed
Nidhi,
him
see,
along.
it's unbelievable, it's just so unbelievable that this book is bringing. I know you for so many years, and I don't know this brave side. I knew that why you went into whole food plant based. Well, you being a brave mom is coming up now for me, and I totally honor you for that. Because somehow this, like, I just knew that you had to be in the book without knowing this part of the story. And the younger one is definitely the stronger one amongst the two in terms of his decision making. And we've always spoken about him as a free spirited person who knows what he wants, and he's always doing his decision. You've let him be rather than forcing, and that as a parent itself is a very commendable thing, I must say that. Because like when we take decisions like whole food plant based, I also have a son who says, I'm not vegan, my parents are. I'm not vegan. And I'm like, fine, you're just 7. You don't have to be when you are. Though he loves animals and he loves everything, but he somehow just feels still that vegan is something odd. I mean, wherever he's getting this from, I don't know. But
Yeah,
we
but
are,
Shikha, I didn't choose whole food plant-based then.
yeah,
I
I know, but
chose,
that's the story I knew with your this
yeah,
thing, and
yeah,
I honored that itself. So I was coming to that I honored that you left him uh, alone when he didn't want to be a whole food plant based, and I was just like, fine, Nidhi is now knowing the whole story, the whole journey, and you walked with him and you made him a winner, and that is why today he is himself, and today he's become vegan. That's the latest news that you've told me, which is again, I was like, that's amazing, because I felt very celebrated when like finally one more family member left of Nidhi and he's become vegan and
yeah,
joined the
yeah,
tribe of whole food plant based. Beautiful, Nidhi. It's just been amazing what I've just heard, and I'm just trying to. I'm just trying to. There's this guy. What's his name? He's written the book Limitless.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yes,
yes, you remember Jim Quick? Is it?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
Did you know his story?
beautiful.
You know the story. His story is it's right behind the book behind me. His story is a similar one, and when he had a brain injury, and then people told him he's a boy with a broken brain, and today he is the man who's
Amazing.
teaching the world how to remember books, how to read faster, how to do things like unbelievable. So your story reminded me of that. That one day they will move forward and say, my mom never gave up on me when the world was. So that's what this book is all about, the shining mothers.
Yeah.
um, Amazing, amazing, and I totally honor you for that, Nidhi. So let's move on and let's talk about you being a mom. Did you ever feel that camera scared you? Did you ever feel you wanted to be behind the cameras when you were raising your children, or you were very okay with being in the camera all the time? Like, how was your journey? Because this whole journey of what I'm discovering what mothers actually started from a camera, and we started there and we realized it was just not camera, it was much more than that. So um, let's just take it there. And just 1 second, Shora, you'll have to reduce the volume maybe. Yeah, so my older one is not well. So let's talk about that.
I so after I was very, very thin when I got married. Very. And after my deliveries, I actually put on some weight and I loved that weight.
I loved it. Okay,
you
that's
know,
interesting one. That's an
I,
interesting
I
one.
just I weighed just 37, 38 kgs when I got married. Okay, so
Right.
really a kid and
Yeah.
really a petite kid. And so when I had put on that little few kgs, that actually suited me really, really well. So I actually enjoyed it. I think for the first time after my deliveries and after a few years after that, I loved coming in front of the camera and being
Yeah.
camera and
Lovely.
taking my children's pictures, my pictures. I think, and we used to have photo sessions,
Yeah.
and I used to be the camera person in the family, taking photos for everybody. And I think my husband would take mine, and then he would be doing that. But we used to have like it's a birthday, and we would have a photo session. So that was my celebration, and not going out and partying, but celebrating it at home with a photo session.
Nice.
So Shikha, we
Oh,
haven't really met like that, but I would love to show you the albums and albums we have because at that time we didn't have the phones to store. So we
yeah.
have
Yeah.
so many photos, and
Yeah.
I'm really
And
sad.
most mothers like also love clicking their children's pictures, but most mothers also like being absent from the camera by being behind the camera, and usually don't turn up ahead. So I like the fact that you it worked opposite, that the weight actually worked for you, and people suddenly started saying, wow, this. So see, very interesting part about this thing is, Nidhi, that it is still operating. Our brain still operates from the self-image, because we thought in others' eyes our self-image or other self-image become better, we start showing up. And that's what I've been telling people. It's an amazing thing that the minute you find that you are beautiful and you look awesome, you want to show up in front of the camera, you want to be there, and it happens to me as well, like slowly, when I started showing up for my self portrait when I hated it, and I started coming back and then realizing it, and I'm like, I look nice. And that's how I started embracing camera very easily. And what happens to women after has happened to you before, and then you dropped that, and then you didn't want that thin Nidhi, you wanted this Nidhi with more weight, and then you you found her, and then you started celebrating yourself. So
Yeah.
it comes back to the same thing. It's
Yeah.
we, and we always judging ourselves about this is okay, this is nice, a better version. And if we can find that better version, the only thing that will happen is shining, and we will put our pictures online, we will put our pictures on the walls and celebrate ourselves. So it's beautiful, it's proven, hence proved equal to that. When you find yourself in a good spot, we all celebrate and take more pictures, so albums
And
are
it
filled.
happens, these things are when we feel good, whether it's we look good or we feel good within, or mentally we are feeling amazing about life. It's effortless, Shikha. We
Yeah,
don't have to make an effort to do anything, it just happens.
yeah,
And at that time, the photographs which we used to take was for no social media, because there was no social media at that time.
yeah.
That was not taken to actually put it on Facebook or Instagram. It was actually just for us.
Yes, and that's
You
what this
know,
project is about. The pictures were all about memories and not images, but interestingly, very interestingly, Nidhi, I have grandmothers here who has found themselves, in spite of being from the SLR, DSLR camera and SLR cameras time, have still said that we never wanted to be in front of the camera. They found their mothers saying no, 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 because this is an international crowd here, and I've been speaking to so many moms. And the interesting part is that the no was more often than a yes in front of the camera, even if it was rare, right? And imagine what a mother today is going through, who's going through this self image today, who does not like herself, and there's COVID situation, and there is pressure of WhatsApp communities and showing up, and your children just take a picture of you so easily and put it in the family where you're all oiled up and sitting stressed out, screaming at them. The first thing that happens to those mothers are like, what are you doing? And I've seen mothers breaking down, and they're saying, why are you putting this out? And look what people are going to say about me. My dark circles have come in. I'm stressed out. I'm going away. And, that's what I realized, that it was painful for them to not be able to show up in their best selves. It was painful for them to find themselves in a situation where they could they could not celebrate themselves, and even if they looked at themselves, they hated themselves even more, so they'd rather be missing, so that nothing reminds them of how they've become and what they've become, um, doing what they're doing, and unfortunately sometimes also blaming the fact that we've become mothers and before that we were much better, not consciously but subconsciously in our talk we keep saying that. So interestingly, all kinds of, and I'm totally happy to have a mother who was absolutely happy being in front of the camera, and you should remain like that. So you are into the health space, and I think you've also created a space where a lot of therapy happens. You were from Vipassana, so that's what the whole movement is about, the silencing the chatter inside, just stopping that chatter, which Vipassana is all about. And the international audience will have to know what Vipassana is to search. But the whole silence part also brings you out, and you don't care so much about your looks and your image and all those things, and all you worry about is your. So, do you find people coming to you in health spaces when they put on weight, they are struggling with it? Do you also see psychologically they are like, do you see this chatter happening that I'm not beautiful, I'm not nice, I don't feel good? Do you interact with people like that when they come to you when you're a health coach in that space?
I think most of the time,
Yeah. Sounds
and
like what you said
and
to me.
yeah, and I feel that self love is missing so much. And so this is something very, very close to me. The story that I was seeing a cancer patient, and I was giving her the whole diet for her cancer recovery and helping her out. And trust me, she's not interested. She's not interested. Maybe my hair's falling. I want my hair back. She stopped going out. She stopped moving anywhere. She started wearing a scarf, and I mean, so many changes. And she was depressed because, not because she had cancer and she had to fight that, but she had to fight her appearance in the world.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I've always been very intrigued by women who shave their head,
I know
right?
you did too. You did
I
too.
did it after that consultation, and I came back home, and I knew I wouldn't, if I would have told anybody, they wouldn't have agreed to me, right? And my
Yeah.
husband would never, never say, Tarun would never say, yes, go ahead. And
Yeah.
I was like, I always find women who can do that very, very amazing. And I've always wanted to do it once in lifetime.
Yeah.
And it happened that moment was I came back home after the consultation and I'm like, you know what? I just want to shave my head and I want to see what happens. What is this damn hair have to do with who I am?
Yeah.
And I shaved my hair. And trust me, I didn't really
Oh, you
realize.
look gorgeous. Oh, you look gorgeous. I mean, you look really beautiful. And opposite happened again to you. After pregnancy, first that
I,
happened, and and the opposite happened again. You look even
Shikha,
prettier
Shikha,
without
I
hair.
enjoyed every phase from that no hair to that
Yeah.
crew cut to that uh, the boy cut and the blunt cut, and and now again my hair's come back to what it was. I mean a better hair. I was always born with thin hair, but better quality now. But I think that phase was amazing because I used to look up. Okay, fine. How do people dress up? And this is the haircut. I used to research, and it's like I would love to flaunt this. No hair, I want to flaunt it.
Yeah.
And I remember buying scarves. I
Yeah,
remember
I know, I know.
buying,
I've seen your pictures. You were pretty much there with your pictures as well everywhere with that
yeah,
thing. And
and
have you ever go ahead, go ahead.
yes, it was amazing because my dad was so upset with me. He didn't look at my face for 3 days. He says, I don't like this. Why the hell did you ever have to do this? You know,
Yeah.
that was something, and that's also something beautiful to learn, And after few months, he tells me that, how did you ever do this? Where did you get this courage from to do it?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
'Cause-
yeah. I mean, it was a courageous step in India, especially we don't see women doing it very easily.
yeah.
But more and more women are doing it, and definitely to see for a father of the generation that he is in, it would be like my daughter, her hair, and like you said, did it what your hair. I had this strange thing about clothes one time. It just like my head just went like, I was like, what is this all about? These different color clothes and what is this all about? You have to wear this, you have to wear that. I totally rebelled against it, and for 3 months I just wore three black sweaters, and I just wore those three black sweaters and those two color jeans for 3 months everywhere. And people just thought I was wearing the same thing for 3 months, but I just wore the three identical thing, and I just wore that, and I just wanted to see what really changes. Like, what happens if I just wore the same color and the same style and the same jeans, and what is this all about? And I realized nothing changed. Like, really, like you are you, and yes, you're going to be more judged when you do things like these. You're going to be more questioned because that's not the common, that's not the normal norm. But these are the things that are stopping us from just being us, you know because we are not being ourselves because somebody will comment, right? We will not, we will like, it's okay if you're at home and wearing the same thing, two three same colors, okay, but we cannot step out. And I had what you had with your hair, with my clothes. I was just like, I was done because I was surrounded in a big joint family with sisters, and I was done with it telling me all the time, come on Shikha, you need to change your style, you need to do something different, you need to make your hair, you need to put on lipstick, you need to do something, wear high heels. And I'm like, I don't want to. Like, I can walk into a five-star hotel with this and I don't care, and I can
I know, I've
walk on the
seen
road.
you, and that's something very, very, it's you. There's no mask.
Yeah, because I just think that if I want to dress up, I'll dress up because I want to dress up, not because I want to like, it's a compulsion for me, or I have
And
to look a certain way.
Shika, what happened is when I actually and I donated my hair in the cancer hospital
Yeah,
also.
yeah,
Okay, and so it was a new realm, because many times when I would look into the mirror and I'm looking at myself and who's this? It's so many times like you can't recognize your own self.
yeah,
But when we are very comfortable in our own way, like for you in that clothes or for me in with the no hair,
yeah,
I think that's powerful.
yeah,
That's liberation.
yeah,
And I didn't really realize it when I did it, but in course of time, as I was growing with my hair growing, I started realizing that I actually don't care too much. It doesn't matter how people look at me anymore. It really doesn't matter,
Yes,
and
and that's amazing.
and that's very liberating, Shikha, because I'm
That's
so
what we're doing.
comfortable being me that
Yeah.
anything doesn't matter. It really
Yeah.
doesn't matter.
And you know what? It just happened to me. I was in a. I'd taken a break for 2 days, and I was out, and I was there, and I got cold, and I was exhausted, and I was looking so tired, and I think I just finished the 50th mom, and you know what happens when you take the first. When you put the first flag, you're like, go flat. How did I do this? How did I reach there in the last 50 days? How did I find these mothers? What's happening? No, I keep telling you a lot of time, am I becoming crazy? Are these mothers real? Are these people I'm meeting? Because some of them I'm just meeting brand new. I'm making such amazing connections, and they are creating such amazing things for the book that I sometimes have to pinch myself and say, I mean, this is real? Am I really doing this? It's just all make believe in my head. So I look very tired, and then somebody who's heading a movement like this. I'm sitting there, and my sister-in-law comes and takes my picture, and she's like, no, like Rohit, it was Rohit's birthday, and he said, okay, why don't you come? I was taking everybody's pictures and behind the camera because I was with tied hair, and I associate with myself and not tied hair, and looking swollen eyes. And he's like, come on for the pictures. And again, the same thing happened to me after 50 mothers and heading the movement also. I'm like, I look tired. Let me just go inside. I'm like, forget it. Let me just go ahead. And I went and took a picture. And then my sister like, are you okay if I put this in like tag you and everything? Then again the resistance came. I'm like, why don't you tag another one when I get ready? And I'm like, Shikha, this whole movement is going to be total fake if you don't let this picture go out.
Yeah.
So I told her, I was like, if I don't let this picture go out right now, just the way it is, what I'm doing, I've not like overcome it yet myself. And I can't lead this movement with 100 other mothers saying, you overcome it. So you go ahead and put my picture. And I hate it. I must say it. I hated it, but I became okay with it. I'm like, it's okay. I'm just tired. That's what people are going to say. Oh my God, you're tired. What are you doing? That's okay. So, this is such a strong thing that happens to us when we put our image out, whether it's with our hair, whether with clothes, especially with our pictures. It's a very tough thing to fight and drop. It's a very tough thing to fight and drop. And I'm telling you, try and post your picture when you're not dressed and just post it out there and then not care about it. That's as liberating as shaving off your hair or wearing the same color shirt and not caring. And especially the more you are known in the social media, the more you are getting to be a known person in this whole social media. Put a picture out there that you hate, and then you see how liberating that is, because after that, like, I don't care. And that's what this movement is about. Because not only we've started taking people around us and their comments too seriously, and after mother our own comments seriously, but the social media world, which is we still don't. I'm not saying that they're not real, because all the mothers I know are so real to me, and I've met them through social media, and I've met them, they're all real, but we still don't know them. Why are we so worried? Like, why are we so worried? And that's interesting part. And good you brought the hair shaving thing, because this movement is about like that. Just like drop it, just drop it, and it'll happen to you, Nidhi. It'll happen to you. I'm saying this to you, and I'm saying this to every mother. You will have to take a self portrait now, and you will have to take a portrait with you and the camera. It'll happen to you again, and it'll come, and you're like, what do I look like? Who am I? How does it happen? And Vilma is here, and it's still happening to Vilma. I know she's also one of the moms here. Um, what
Honestly,
was
I
it?
used to I used to see, when we are in groups, and I see many of them, uh, everybody is taking pictures, and the pictures everybody knows is going to go on social media,
Right.
right? And I used to observe that everybody is so conscious, enlarging and watching, how am I looking? Okay, not this picture and that picture. And I was like, Shikha, believe me, I've never gone and seen a picture that how am I looking?
Yeah.
I don't post by myself too much. It's only work wise. Otherwise, I really don't do it too much. I've been asked to from my social media team that
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
need to do it now. But
Yes.
for me, other things are getting more important. So, but I know that when I don't, and when I see that, I feel fantastic that I don't need to. People know how I look,
Because you
right?
love yourself. Because you love yourself. Because that's the whole thing. That when you start loving yourself, you don't care.
And
And
I have to say, thanks to Louise Hay for
yeah, oh, she's amazing.
introducing me this kind of work of self-love. And I would suggest everybody,
Yeah.
mother, no mother, or whoever, we need to just love ourselves for
Yeah. Yeah.
whatever we are, whatever we
Right.
do, right and wrong, love both the parts.
Yes. Yes.
and
Yes.
and I think that's and it's crazy. I didn't know I'm going to talk about it, but here this
Yeah.
book
You
just
can heal your life.
lies on my table every
Yes.
single day.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll tag her today. We'll tag her to this
Yeah, we
interview.
have to. She's
We'll
done
tag her.
such amazing work. She has
Yes, it is.
introduced.
It is. It is. It is. And if we can do this to mothers, Nidhi, it's going to be some really great work done, because she is the beginning of the next generations coming up ahead. And yes, a father is very important as well. I've been raised by a beautiful father, but when a mother goes down, a lot of things go down, and she takes a lot of courage to come back, and sometimes she cannot even return because of various circumstances, because of various reasons. And this project is bringing the fact that let's not judge why you didn't come back, what happened to you, why no self-love, where did you get stuck, what happened. It's just that we're just opening the doors one by one and saying, get up, get up, get up, get up, out, out, come out. It's like it's becoming like that.
Yeah.
Whoever you are, however you are, whoever you are, just come out. Let's celebrate you. Let's see what you're doing. Don't be a secret anymore. Don't be behind the door. And it's awesome to have a mother like you who shed this long time back, and who's now really doing so great with your cafe. And now you're a mother-in-law as well. It's just like you're all sorted with these things. And your story of shaving your hair, if you have any self-portrait, I think we should put that all out in the
Oh,
self-image
I'll
thing.
share it. I'll share it
Yeah.
with you.
Yeah, you should. Because people need to see it. It just takes that to just drop it one day, this whole image. It's not about that one angle, it's not about that one smile, it's not about that one. It's the whole you in every way, and making memories with all sorts of stuff that's happened to you and coming out with it. What's your dream, Nidhi? What is your dream? If I ask, not like Nidhi Nahata the mother, Nidhi Nahata the Justbe cafe owner, Nidhi Nahata the health coach, what is Nidhi's dream? What does she dream for? What's the dream?
To see a healthier world.
Yeah,
Trust
but
me.
you're already living
And
that, and
and
you're
you know, I just feel that I hope, because I used to run my house and my kitchen,
yeah,
and when I had cholesterol and rosacea, severe skin allergy, and um, migraine, my husband with acidity, my son with asthma, my younger son. I mean, so many little ailments which we had really embraced it as a
yeah,
lifestyle,
yeah,
and today the same ailments are no more a part of our life. I just feel that I really hope I knew it earlier, and my son wouldn't have to suffer for 21 years with asthma. And that is why I do a lot of cooking classes in my cafe. And I know many of them say, Nidhi, you run a cafe, why do you share your recipes? I said, I want to share it. I want to
yeah,
share it with every woman or a man who is cooking for their children or their family.
yeah. That's the way to move
and
forward.
and I really feel that in that manner I can enter people's homes and kitchens.
Yeah,
And it's amazing when people come in for the cooking class and then they tell me that, for the first time I'm introduced to the kitchen and cooking in this manner, that I want to go back home and take control.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's
Because I
beautiful. It's
really feel
beautiful.
that's one of the most important aspect of the one who is nurturing the family. It can be a man or a woman, anybody,
Yeah, anybody,
but
anybody.
that is such an important, that we know what we are doing and what we are really
Yeah,
putting into our body.
yeah.
And
Oh,
I think that's
absolutely.
what my dream is, to see healthier homes, healthier children, healthy you and me.
Yeah, yeah. And I just suddenly remembered this incident with you, and I absolutely can vouch for you being a big giver. And what you're just saying is a total giver's way of living. That giving away. And I remember on the vegan day, I came all. I must tell this incident to everybody. I had promised Nidhi that I'm going to go and attend one of the. I think she was some seminar she was doing I had not remembered it was a vegan day. I just turned out, and it was almost 2 hours away from my house. And I came up with my son, it was very early for him, who was hungry. And I entered the cafe, and I'm very lost. I don't read the rules and regulations, what's happening. And I just thought that I didn't know it was a vegan day or whatever. And I ordered food, and I got anything that and everything that I ordered, because I was ordering, and I asked Nidhi, is it okay if he eats, in the middle of the thing, because he's totally hungry and he will not let me attend the thing. And she's like, absolutely fine. And then I go to the billing counter and I get a bill which says zero on it. And I'm like, what? And I almost wanted to tell Nidhi that, do you know that your staff just like gave me a zero bill? So I went to the staff and I said, you just given me a bill which says zero. He said like, yeah, all the bills today are zero. I'm like, what are you talking about? I didn't know about it. And I went to Nidhi and I asked her, I was like, why is this bill zero? And she said, today anybody who comes to the cafe, the bill is going to be zero. What a graceful way of saying, you know so that it is no pressure that we'll order less. I ordered a lot of food. Okay, so I went ahead. I was feeling like, oh my god, like if she would have done it the other way by announcing it first, saying that it's a zero day, I would have just sat with the lemonade and told my son to eat probably a muffin and said, okay, we will go ahead and do something else. But we ordered the way we would have ordered otherwise. And so your grace has been your grace with that vegan day, your grace of sending me food. All this is very close to my heart, Nidhi. And this is, and what I like about it, Nidhi, and I must say this through this interview, is that, we usually think we need to give to an underprivileged. We need to give to, somebody who's is struggling with money or finances or whatever, and then we're a giver without realizing. And I always felt that without realizing, the humans and their emotions are the same. A pregnant lady craving for, who can afford it, who can definitely afford sending a driver and getting it every day, just mentioned it from her mouth that I love your food and I wish I could eat it every day, and it came to my doorstep every single day for 2 months. Um, like so much that I just like I used to be in tears, and I was like, what is this? Like, what is this coming to my door every day? Is such a And I felt loved, and I felt as if it was literally something that was unbelievable. And it's very close to my heart what happened. And that grace was something I obviously wanted to honor by taking your family pictures, and I wanted to honor that, and I still will. But thank you for being you, Nidhi. It's that grace that uh, you know and believe me, there are some of my friends who are coming to ask them how you used to react. There's another one here today, and I used to get a call from your manager saying, what would you like to eat today? Yesterday we sent you in DM, would you like to eat? I'm like, no, I don't want more food, because I'm feeling I can't take I can't take so much love. It's just so much of love. And he was like, no, but you have to select one. We're not saying the no is not an option. Either you get Chinese or you get. So it was beautiful, Vivi. And
Shikha,
thanks
it
for
was
being
such a
here.
pleasure for me to do that because I know that there are very few people who understand what whole food plant based is. And it was such a privilege to do this for the mother to be.
Oh
And it's
yes.
two souls whom
Oh
I
yes.
could, introduce
It's
this food to him even before he comes to the world.
Oh,
Right.
I know, it's giving me goosebumps to do that, and
And
you just totally, it's just amazing. You're just so graceful, and I want to get this story out because I want people to believe and to know that good happens. Good happens. You don't have to be in a bad problem sometimes for a lot of good to happen to you. It happens to you because your heart is open, because your belief is there, and you receive. And the receiving is the thing. Every single day I received, and I can't tell you the feelings that I had. And I started sharing it with my other friends who were trying to turn whole food plant based. Like, would you like to share something? Because I was like, this share has to go beyond it. So this is a beautiful story again, and now connected to being a mother. I was pregnant 6 7 months, and of course I could drive every day to a cafe. And so these two stories are very close to my heart, Nidhi.
and when you're sharing about that zero billing day when we do it,
Yeah,
it has been a very beautiful when you just mentioned that to receive. I
yeah.
used to see people coming, and some people like you, I remember that so well. Shikha, you were in tears. That Nidhi,
I still am.
I know you were just in tears, and I know that hug, that beautiful hug that you gave me, and you said that why are you doing this? That line, I have that video,
Yeah,
Shikha, of you
yeah,
saying that. And some of them just coming, and I just feel that people who, of course, everybody who comes to the cafe can afford paying me.
of
It's
course.
not about that. But giving is so easy, right?
Receiving.
And when it happened to me years back, and I wanted to share that with the world, it happened with me, and I'm like, no, but I want to pay. It's so difficult to receive. you know Doing this is so
Yeah,
difficult. It's doing
yeah,
this has ego,
yeah,
right? And I'm
yeah,
like, can I just make you experience? It's so beautiful. And
yeah.
whatever I said, if you want to pay, I used to keep that care, the animal rescue center. We used to donate all the money. If you want to pay, go and pay it over there at the counter, and
Yes, yes,
those guys
yes,
will take it. But I know that there were few people who doubted, the few people who were overwhelmed, like you, and there were few
yeah,
who were like, okay, fine, okay, now what next? What is the underlying thing? Why are you doing this? You
yes,
know,
yes,
not
yes. I
not
know,
really
I know.
trusting that this is just happening.
Because this doesn't happen. Like what I'm saying doesn't happen. And again, a mother story comes to me about receiving. I will tell you because the mother stories are such amazing mother stories, and I'm a total mother, obsessed mother. I've gone to the level of being called an obsessed mother, and I take a pride in it now. Earlier, I used to have a problem with it, but I was with Shaurya, my older one, and I was. He was crying. I think he was 9 months old or 10 months old. And I had to drive, and he was howling away. I don't know what was wrong with him, and I put him into the car seat. And then I suddenly went to the parking lot, and he's crying. And I realized that I had to take out money from, there were no Paytms and Google Pays and all these wallet at that time, right? Because
Yeah,
7 years
yeah,
back, pandemic had not hit. Nobody had heard of this thing. And I was like, oh my God, I had to take out money because there was no credit cards accepted at the parking lot as well. And this guy was like screaming away. I was trying to take him back so that I could go to the ATM and get some money out. And then this parking lot guy is watching me, and he walks up to me and he's like, "What's the problem?" So I was uh, like I would have ideally like, or a mother would have said, "Leave me alone. Like, what is your problem? I'm trying to deal with it, right?" So I was like, he and I love talking to everybody on the surface of this earth. So for me, I was just like, this dude is like really crying. I have to go to the ATM to get the parking money, and the money is not there. And then he takes out 20 rupees from his pockets and gives it to me, right? And then Shara starts screaming even louder. Like he's screaming loudly, okay? And I'm standing there, that the ego part happens, right? That the ego part happens.
yeah.
Also, a mother, between now dragging him from here and going till the ATM, which was almost 15 minutes affair, and then coming back, standing in the line, going crazy, and coming back. Here's a man who's very poor, probably, who gets very less salary, is saying, take this 20 rupees and leave. And I had to choose between being a mother or dropping an ego, and I chose being a mother. And I took that 20 rupees, and I still remember. And he just went. Like, he's like, take and leave. This is more important. Or don't even think about it. And for him, that 20 would be a big, big amount. And I exited from the parking, and for 4 days, I kept on thinking that what just happened to me? I became the receiver
Yeah,
from somebody I don't know,
yeah,
and I received. And that's how I received from you, and that's how I've been receiving, and that's how I'm receiving even today. Because I just realized that only this way of receiving you can become a bigger giver. And I went back and I paid him a good amount later, and I said, this is not because you gave me 20 rupees. This is because you taught me something and you're a teacher for me.
beautiful.
And I'm paying you this money for teaching me something. So go ahead and use it for your children's thing. And that guy was totally stunned. He was just like 20 rupees that I got so, but I was like, no, because you taught me something, that
Yeah,
it's okay to drop your ego. And that's what happened with your zero billing. That's what happened with your food. And that's what's happening today. I'm receiving so much love. And Farida is here as well. Hi, Farida. So this is beautiful. Nidhi, you're welcome to this book. This book is really becoming something. Every single day I am finding the mothers liberating themselves through stories. And I'm waiting for your story to come. And you're such a giver, and bless you for creating this world where it's okay to be doubted why you're doing such a great thing. But it's good to be you. And this light has gone off, which is my signal that 45 minutes are done. Keep quiet. The interview is going too long because just the space for 45 minutes in the battery. So we've spoken about your dream, and this book is in this book I am talking about manifesting all 100 mothers' dreams. I will make sure these 100 dreams come true through this book. I will take this book to the places that it can go. Whatever I've learned, whatever I've received, I will take it there. So your dream of this healthier world will come true through this book. And thank you for being you, Nidhi. Thank you for being you.
And thank you, Shikha, for doing what you're doing. It's so beautiful. I love today's session. Thank you.
I totally loved it as well. And we have Vilma saying, yes, that has happened to me. Those little miracles, amazing. Farida is saying, receiving is so much more difficult. It needs grace. Yes, Farida. And you've been very graceful. These are all mothers, in the Melanie is here, Sarah is here. All of them are mothers now joining up. It's morning time for them. Slowly, slowly, they all start joining in here and commenting. And they've loved me so much as well. So thank you for all your love, and I will see you soon with you and your story in the book. So start thinking what the story is and what those two pages will unfold. And I always think that what will happen page by page, like people who are going to receive the book, they're going to like, what is she about? Like, we want to see who's she. So a lot of hard work is going on. I was telling Rohit, it's easier for me to say, go write your story, go do your self-portrait. But mothers are sitting and thinking, what? Like, what is our story that's going to go forever? But we'll do it. We'll make this happen. The mothers will be honored and celebrated through this book for sure. So see you, Nidhi. I'm going to go off live, and thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
I see you.
So don't go off. Don't go off.